name is Claudia Nanino. I'm a certified breathwork facilitator and really happy to be working with Yes Queen and here today to share with you a little bit of education on breath and breathwork, as well as some beautiful techniques that should have you feeling pretty good. Breathwork is a generic term for any time you're being intentional with your breath. You're putting your attention on it, you're controlling it, you're managing the rhythm and the tempo. And our breath has such an incredible wisdom. It has its own intelligence, as does our body, as does our spirit, on how to heal us. And so when we tap into this wisdom, we're able to tap into healing that has effects physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. There are studies that show that pulling as few as 6 intentional deep breaths can have a measurable positive effect on your blood pressure, as well as on the alkalinity of your blood, which is directly related to your stress levels and your stress hormones. So breath can reduce stress and anxiety. It can regulate our nervous system. It tells our body that we're safe. It takes us out of fight or flight and drops us into our parasympathetic nervous system, where we can achieve states of calm and relaxation. It helps with everything being more efficient, our entire physical system, because we're bringing in more oxygen, and everything thrives with oxygen. So our brain functions better, our heart functions more efficiently. It can slow down our heart rate, which means we have to expend less energy, but still be able to do what we need to do in terms of pumping the blood throughout the entire body. So there are so many incredible benefits to breath work. There are certain styles that even help with healing old emotion, old trauma, allowing you to move old energies, old stories, old identities. There are such profound, incredible benefits to breathwork, and so many different styles. Today we are going to do a few variations of pranayama, which are elements of yoga, so thousands of years old. There are elements of qigong, which are also ancient and beautiful and healing and powerful. And then there are some newer styles, which you might have heard of, like the Wim Hof method or holotropic, shamanic. My personal favorite is conscious breathwork, which similar to some of the others I have mentioned, but is deep inner work, deep inner journey work using your breath. But today we are going to practice a few different lovely styles that you can take with you and use whenever you would like. So first we're going to start with something called a 3-parts breath. So I invite you to find a comfortable seat. I'm seated on the floor, but feel free to sit in a chair, on a couch, anywhere where you feel comfortable. And you just want to be mindful that your spine is relatively straight. It doesn't have to be super straight. I don't want you to be stiff. I want you to be relaxed, but just be mindful that everything is in alignment and in a posture that feels supportive. And so with this breath, we're going to be breathing in and out through the nose, and we're going to be thinking about our torso in 3 parts. So our first part will be 1/3 here into our upper chest. The second third will be into this middle area, which is the diaphragm. So you might want to think about breathing in a way that expands your ribs at all 360 degrees. And then the last third will be breathing into the belly. So we're going to breathe 1/3 upper chest, 1/3 diaphragm, 1/3 belly. Then we're going to reverse that, exhaling 1/3 belly, 1/3 diaphragm, 1/3 chest. And don't worry, I'm going to guide you through everything. So if you are comfortable, I invite you to close your eyes and exhale all of your air. Remember, through the nose, we're going to breathe 1/3 upper chest, 1/3 diaphragm, last third belly. Exhale 1/3 belly, 1/3 diaphragm, last third upper chest. Inhale 1/3 upper chest, 1/3 middle, last third belly. Exhale 1/3 belly, 1/3 diaphragm, last third upper chest. Inhale 1/3 upper chest, 1/3 belly, last third belly. Exhale 1/3 belly, 1/3 middle, last third upper chest. Go ahead and continue at your own pace. In and out through the nose, dividing the torso into those 3 sections and taking the inhale from the top to the bottom, and then reversing that flow on the exhale, beginning with your belly back up to the top. And the beautiful thing about this breath is that it takes a little bit of effort, not in terms of pulling the breath, but just keeping that flow, thinking about your body, thinking about the different parts of your body you have to engage to breathe into those areas, and staying with that flow from top to bottom. And if you lose your place or you mess up, it's okay. It's not important to do it perfectly. It's just important to stay focused on that breath. Stay focused on that slower tempo and breathing richly into each of those different parts of your body, and then reversing it. And our inhale overall and our exhale overall are of equal length. And I don't find it necessary to count myself, just because thinking about those 3 areas sets the pace for me. But if it helps for you to keep count, beautiful. Whatever helps. Anything that keeps you in that pattern, in that tempo, in that flow. Again, whenever we slow down our breath in this way, we're signaling to our body that we are safe. That automatically starts to bring on feelings of relaxation, calm. It takes us from a place of contraction to one of expansion. Being intentional with our breath and breathing in this way gives the mind something to do, something to focus on, which in turn helps to start to quiet a lot of that chatter that we have going on in our mind. But it's normal for you to find yourself distracted or to find different thoughts, concerns, to-do lists starting to come in. And that's okay. Just have the awareness that that has come in, and then come back to the breath. Keep coming back to your breath, even if you have to do it over and over and over again. It's beautiful. It's like a muscle that we work and we practice, and it eventually becomes easier and easier. And sometimes it just depends on the day too. So have a lot of compassion for yourself, awareness, come back to that breath. After your next exhale, go ahead and relax. Come back to your regular breath. I invite you to take some organic movement. Maybe rolling the shoulders, perhaps stretching the neck a little bit. Maybe some seated cat-cows, which just means to round and arch your back. You know, when we're trying something new, sometimes we can be really focused on wanting to do it well, and that sometimes can create a little bit of tension in the body. So just bring some movement to relax yourself. And as I mentioned, if you 6 deep breaths, you receive the benefits. So already we're receiving those physical benefits, and you might feel it, or it might be more subtle, but just know that you are. Now we're going to move into something that's known as a healing breath, a deeply healing breath. It's going to be in and out through the nose again, and this time we will be using counts as well as kind of visualization. So we are going to breathe this time on the inhale for a count of 4 through the nose. And you're going to want to think about pulling that inhale from the base of your spine up to your heart, up to your mind, your third eye. Then we're going to hold for 2. And then we're going to exhale and envision the breath reversing, going from your mind through your heart to your root, to your base. Hold for 2. So I'll go ahead and cue us. Let's start by exhaling all of the air. I invite you to close your eyes again if that feels good. And inhale for a count of 4, again, envisioning the breath traveling from your root, through your heart, to your mind. Hold for 2, and exhale for 4, to your heart, to the base of your spine. Hold for 2, inhale for 4, hold for 2, exhale for 4. Hold for 2. Inhale for 4. Envisioning that breath traveling up the spine. Hold for 2. Exhale, reversing that flow from the top to the bottom for 4. Hold for 2. Inhale for 4. Hold for 2. Exhale for 4. Hold for 2. I invite you to continue at your own pace, and if you feel ready, I also invite you to add a slight constriction to the back of your throat so that on those inhales and exhales, it's creating like an ocean type sound, sounding like this. So keeping that pace of inhaling for 4, holding for 2, exhaling for 4, holding for 2. But on that inhale and the exhale, you have that slight contraction of the throat so that it can create that ocean sound in and out. It helps slow things a little bit down. Again, it's adding one more thing to keep you focused on. And this is an incredibly beautiful healing breath. A very close friend of mine healed a traumatic brain injury by using this breath for hours a day. So it's incredibly healing, incredibly powerful, and simple. Just keep that count. In for 4, hold for 2, out for 4, hold for 2. And if you feel ready, adding that constriction to the back of the throat. If you find your mind wandering, that's okay. Just have that awareness. Come back to your breath. Come back to the count. Come back to that vision of the breath traveling from the base of your spine to your head, and then reversing, passing through the heart each time. And bring your attention back to that throat contraction if you're working with that. Those 3 elements are going to keep you focused, keep you anchored. And whenever we do breath work, it brings us into our body, brings us into the present moment, which is a beautiful, powerful form of meditation. There's no wrong way to do breath work. And if in your environment you're hearing sounds or distractions, that's okay. Just allow them to be there. Stay focused on your breath. Keep coming back to your breath. After your next exhale, go ahead and relax. Again, take any organic movement that might feel good. And check in. Notice if perhaps you're feeling anything different already. Perhaps a shift in energy. Perhaps a sense of ease. Maybe even a little lightheaded because we're not used to being so conscious about bringing in a ton of oxygen, and that's okay too. It's all beautiful. It's all welcome. Next, we're going to do something called, it'll be a variation of alternate nostril breath. So for this one, I like to use my right hand and I fold down my index and my middle finger, leaving my thumb and my ring and my pinky extended, because I'll be using these fingers to open and close my nostrils so that I can alternate my breath. So we're going to inhale on one side, then close that side, exhale on the other side, then keep that side open, inhale, close, exhale on the other side. So don't worry, I'll be cueing you through it. So find yourself again in a comfortable seat. Using our fingers, so let's begin by exhaling all of our air. Closing the left side, inhaling on the right. Closing the right, opening the left, exhaling on the left. Keeping the left open, inhale on the left. Close the left, open the right, exhale on the right. Inhale on the right. Close the right, open on the left, exhale left. Inhale left. Close left, open right, exhale right. Go ahead and continue at your own pace, using those fingers to help you alternate. And you want to be mindful that your inhales and your exhales on both sides are of equal length. So if it helps you to keep count, beautiful, perhaps a count of 3 or 4 or 5 even. Or you can just simply be mindful of it, be aware of it, see what feels balanced. In the yogic tradition, they have mapped thousands of energy channels throughout the body, different meridians of energy, very similar to the acupuncture system. And it is believed that there are two key ones, that one that runs up the spine and another that runs down the spine. And so this breath is incredibly good for balancing and cleansing the entire system, but in particular balancing those two channels that run up and down the spine. It's also good for balancing the right and left hemisphere of the brain. So know that you're receiving a lot of beautiful benefit. And again, if you find your mind wandering, just come back to the pattern, come back to the alternate nostrils, come back to being mindful that your inhales match your exhales. Notice if one side is easier to breathe through than the other, and you might need to put a little bit more emphasis in order to keep those inhales and exhales evenly timed. Go ahead and relax after your next exhale. Again, take any movement that feels good. And we're gonna move on to something a little bit different. It's called Breath of Fire. For this one, I like to be on my knees, but you are welcome to stay as you are. You just wanna be more mindful, more aware of your spine. And this one, ensure that your spine is pretty straight. So for this one, we'll be breathing again in and out through our nose, but it's gonna be at a much faster pace. And I want you to concentrate on your exhales. Just keep your focus on your exhale. And with each exhale, I want you to think about bringing your belly button back towards your spine. So with each exhale, you're really kind of snapping it back, pulling it back. This one can be a little bit awkward the first few times you do it, but then you get the rhythm and it becomes easier and easier. And this one is excellent for if you want to shift any significant emotions that you're experiencing, any big emotions that you want to help flow out. If you need a bolt of energy, this can be very energizing. Instead of reaching for a cup of coffee, perhaps try 30 seconds or 60 seconds of Breath of Fire, and I guarantee you'll notice a difference in your energy level. For that reason, I also don't recommend doing this breath right before you're going to go to sleep, because sometimes it can be too energizing. So let's start by exhaling all of our air, and then just follow me. Take an inhale and begin. And relax. And just take a moment as you come back to your breath to notice any differences you might be feeling. It's very common to feel perhaps some temperature, some heat, some warmth, maybe some tingling, perhaps a little bit of fatigue because we're not used to breathing in this way and engaging our abdomen so much. And we're going to do a second round that's about half that time. That was about 45 seconds. So we'll do about 20-25 seconds, and just going to be faster. So do your best, and remember there's no wrong way to do breath work, and the more you practice this, the easier it will get. So begin by closing your eyes and exhaling your air. Take an inhale, and begin. And relax. Come back to your regular breath, and again, just check in, notice, see if you feel anything. I'm certainly feeling a little bit of vibration. We're almost done. I just want to close our time together. You come back to a comfortable seat if you've shifted out of it. We're just going to take 3 deep breaths together, and thinking about a quote that I recently heard from an author that I follow, Paul Chek. And on the inhale, just think to yourself, and I'll say it out loud, I fill myself with love. And on the exhale, I give it all away. And it's just going to be 3 beautiful, rich, deep, nourishing breaths. So we'll start by exhaling. Inhale, I fill myself with love. Exhale, I give it all away. Inhale, I fill myself with love. Exhale, I give it all away. Inhale, make it your biggest breath of the day. I fill myself with love. Exhale, I give it all away. Beautiful. Breathwork is as simple as that. You can take any of these and use it whenever you need it. You can combine them like we did. You can focus on one and do it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever feels good. But remember, it's use 6 breaths and you're already going to start feeling the benefit. So I thank you for spending your time with me and for learning about this beautiful practice. I know that this work that we do as individuals then allows us to be better humans, and that has a ripple effect out into the world, which is so incredible and much needed right now. So thank you so much.